It is 3:00 a.m. and in a quiet suburb, a man named David sits in the cold blue light of his monitor. His breath is shallow. His heart is racing. He is staring at a digital wallet that, only 5 minutes ago, held $40,000. This was his entire life savings. Every penny he had converted into Ethereum. He refreshes the page. 0. He refreshes it again. Still 0. The transaction history displays a single outbound transfer to an anonymous, alphanumeric string of characters. There is no name attached. No bank for him to call. And absolutely no undo button. Just a silent, digital void where his future used to be. Across the globe, in a high-rise somewhere in Southeast Asia, a young man finishes his cigarette. He calmly closes his laptop and walks away from a desk littered with prepaid SIM cards. He does not know David. And he certainly does not care about David's daughter's tuition or the 10 years David spent working overtime. To this predator, David was just a pig ready for the slaughter. Welcome to the new frontier of larceny. We are currently living through the greatest wealth transfer in human history. But this isn't happening on Wall Street or in the halls of prestigious banks. It is happening right now. In the encrypted shadows of the blockchain. In this cybercrime documentary, we are not just looking at numbers on a screen. We are peeling back the curtain on a global industry of deception. This is an ecosystem of professional predators who have successfully turned computer code into a weapon. This is the anatomy of the cryptocurrency scam. To truly understand how we got to this point, we have to look at the psychology of the new gold rush. Cryptocurrency was born out of the 2008 financial crisis as a beautiful dream of decentralization. It was supposed to be a way to take power away from the banks and give it back to the people. But where there is unregulated value, the wolves will always follow. The investigation into modern crypto fraud reveals a structure that is terrifyingly organized. We are no longer dealing with lone wolf hackers wearing hoodies in their basements. Instead, we are dealing with highly sophisticated syndicates. These organizations operate with the efficiency of a Fortune 500 company, but with a much darker mission. Take, for example, the rise of pig butchering, or Shah Zhu Pan. This is not just a quick phishing link sent to your inbox. It is a long-term psychological operation. It often begins with a simple, wrong number text. Perhaps a photo of a beautiful woman or a successful businessman sent to your WhatsApp. Oh, sorry. I thought this was my golf instructor. They might say, if you reply to that message, even out of politeness. The trap is set. For weeks, they will not even mention money. They talk about their day, their pets, or their mysterious uncle who is a financial genius. They build an intense level of intimacy with you. They fatten the pig. They use AI-generated voice notes and deepfake video calls to prove that they are real people. By the time they suggest you try out a new trading platform, your defenses are not just down. They are non-existent. But as our investigation deepens, we find that the scammers themselves are often victims as well. Reports from Interpol and the United Nations have uncovered massive scam factories in Myanmar and Cambodia. In these places, thousands of people are trafficked and held against their will. They are forced to run these scams under the constant threat of physical violence. It is a devastating cycle of human misery that fuels this digital theft. While you lose your savings, someone else is losing their freedom. To understand how the money actually disappears from your wallet, we have to look closely at the underlying technology. The blockchain is a public ledger, which means every single transaction is recorded. This sounds like it would be a nightmare for criminals. However, scammers use a variety of obfuscation techniques to stay invisible to the law. They have mastered the art of hiding in plain sight. In the world of decentralized finance, or DeFi, code is law. A developer creates a new token, like Mars Coin, and writes a smart contract to govern it. To the untrained eye, it looks perfectly legitimate, but hidden in the thousands of lines of Solidity code is a trap. A mint function or a proxy bypass. The scammers pump the coin on TikTok and Twitter, using massive bot farms to create artificial trading volume. Once the price skyrockets and millions of real dollars flow in, the developer triggers the rug pull. They use that hidden code to drain all the liquidity from the pool instantly. You are left holding worthless code, while they vanish with the Ethereum. Once a scammer steals your crypto, they cannot just send it to a regulated exchange like Coinbase. They would be flagged and caught immediately. Instead, they use crypto mixers, such as the infamous Tornado Cash. Think of a mixer like a digital paper shredder that puts the pieces back together randomly. The stolen funds are sent into a massive pool with thousands of other transactions. They are broken down, shuffled, and then spat out into brand new, clean wallets. By the time the money emerges on the other side, the trail has been effectively broken. This makes it nearly impossible for law enforcement to prove where the money came from. As we move through 2025, the most dangerous tool in the scammer's arsenal is generative AI. We are seeing the rise of agentic scams, where autonomous AI bots roam social media. They engage in convincing financial arguments with potential victims, mimicking human speech patterns perfectly. Even more chilling are the deepfake giveaways. Scammers hijack high-traffic YouTube channels and play a loop of a celebrity like Elon Musk. Using high-fidelity AI, they sync the celebrity's voice to a script promising to double your money. To the average viewer, it looks like a legitimate live broadcast. To the scammer, it is a massive net that catches thousands of victims every single hour. The consequences of these crimes are rarely just financial. They are deeply personal. In our research for this cybercrime documentary, we have looked at the data from global law enforcement agencies, but the climax of a crypto scam is often not the initial theft. It is the recovery scam. This is the second sting that hurts even more. After a victim loses their money, they often go to forums like Reddit to desperately seek help. Within minutes, they are contacted by recovery agents or blockchain security experts. They claim they can hack the scammer's wallet and get the money back. They use technical jargon like brute force decryption to sound like experts. They ask for an upfront fee or a software license to start the work, desperate to get their life savings back. The victim pays once again, and just like that, they are scammed a second time by the same predators. It is a ruthless cycle that targets people when they are at their lowest point. However, the tide is finally beginning to turn. Law enforcement agencies are getting much better at on-chain analytics. Specialized firms are now able to track the movement of stolen funds across multiple hops and mixers. We are seeing more seizure orders where the FBI catches the money the moment it hits a centralized exchange. But for every success story, there are 10 Davids still sitting in the dark. They are still refreshing a balance that will never return. The digital world is a dark alley, and you are carrying a bag of gold. If you take away nothing else from this cybercrime documentary, remember these 4 pillars of survival. First, trust nothing on social media. If a celebrity or a friend you haven't spoken to in years tells you about a guaranteed crypto opportunity, it is a scam, period. Second, hardware is king. Never keep your life savings on an exchange or in a hot wallet connected to your browser. Use a cold storage device, a physical hardware wallet. If your private keys are not on the internet, they cannot be hacked remotely. Third, watch for the tax red flag. No legitimate exchange will ever ask you to pay more money to withdraw your own funds. If they ask for fees up front, your money is already gone. Do not send them another dime. Fourth, you must slow down. Scammers rely entirely on a sense of urgency. They want you to act before your brain's logical centers can catch up to the lie. If an investment requires you to act right now, it is designed specifically to make you fail. The blockchain was designed to be a system of trustless transactions. Ironically, that means you should trust no one. The frontier is dangerous, and the law is still struggling to catch up with the technology. Until then, you are your own bank, your own security guard, and your own lead investigator. The blue light of David's monitor finally turns off. He does not have his money back, and he likely never will, but he has learned a lesson that cost him $40,000. In the digital age, your greatest vulnerability is not your password, it is your heart, your hope, and your greed. Don't let your story become a footnote in an FBI report. If you found this investigation helpful, consider subscribing to help us shine a light into these digital shadows. Knowledge is the only firewall that truly works. Stay safe. Stay anonymous. This is the Digital Sleuth.